In this video, you will learn how to make any man obsessed with you by using the psychology of seduction. That's right, I'm going to share a powerful step-by-step plan based on social and evolutionary psychology that will ignite a man's desire for you and make him obsessed with you. I'm psychologist and relationship coach Dr. Antonio Borrello, and I need to warn you, these seduction techniques are so powerful that they're called unethical by many people. And because of that, I have been reluctant to share these techniques before. However, I've come to realize that so many women have been on the receiving end of these seductive practices and they don't even know it. So I'm sharing this with you for two reasons. First, because many of you may want to try them to turn things around with your man, but more importantly, I share these so you can protect yourself from anyone using on them disingenuinely. So I'm going to focus on how these techniques can be used to make a man obsessed with you. And it all starts with number one. Number one, provoke his interest and desire indirectly. Regardless of whether you're already involved with a man or if you're wanting to seduce someone new, you must approach indirectly. Because being too direct will telegraph your intentions and cause him to be defensive. Instead, you must be elusive and approach from the side. So let's take these two scenarios separately. First, if you're already involved with a man, then he has been attracted to you and interested in you at some point. Now, you just need to turn that attraction and interest into a full obsession. And you will accomplish that indirectly by exploiting his sexual overperception bias rather than by being direct with him about your intentions. The sexual overperception bias is the tendency for men to overinfer a woman's sexual interest based on ambiguous information. For example, men often confuse ambiguous cues such as a friendly smile or a touch on the arm or holding eye contact as flirtation and as an invitation for sexual advance. Now, because you have some history with him, he probably already assumes that you like him a lot. That's why you must avoid telling him your feelings until he is completely yours. Instead, you can use the nonverbal language that I'm going to share to seduce him without telling him your feelings at all. Now, on the other hand, if it's a new man that you're interested in, you still have to make an indirect approach. But you can have an even bigger advantage if you're able to make him think that he's the one making the first approach. So, to accomplish this, let him notice you in different places, stimulating him with your appearance or your actions, but never approaching him. You will get his attention this way, and if he wants to know you, he will have to come to you. Or you can get closer to him through other people. When you're able to infiltrate his inner circle, you may still be a stranger, but you're a stranger that he has some curiosity about. Here, still you want to befriend him while maintaining an appropriate distance for friends of the opposite sex. And once you're close enough, you can start playing cat and mouse, first seeming interested, then stepping back and luring him to follow. Be careful not to give him too much attention. Too much attention conveys insecurity and raises suspicions. And worst of all, it gives him no room for imagination. And remember this most important caution. Regardless of situation, you should never give the impression that you have ulterior motives. Instead, you must be coy and work from behind the scenes. Number two, send mixed signals. Seduction is a psychological process that requires you to lodge yourself in another person's mind and keep him thinking of you as much as possible. And the best way to accomplish this is by sending mixed messages and mixed signals and keeping him wondering. You see, the initial phases of the mating game involves incomplete information for both partners. Like, a man doesn't know whether a woman likes him or not, while a woman doesn't know a man's level of commitment. Because a man is usually the one pursuing, he does not immediately know if a woman likes him or not. So when you send mixed signals, you are exploiting this uncertainty, and that will spark an enduring kind of spell, keeping him thinking about you always. And as I've said in other videos, the mind doesn't like ambiguity. That's why we're all fascinated by people who are hard to figure out. We are curious about people who are mysterious, intriguing, and difficult to understand. So, how do you send mixed signals? Well, you're going to appear interested, then pretend not to be interested, and give him a compliment followed by a criticism moments later. Answer his calls and texts and messages promptly one day, then ignore him completely the next day. This mix of contrary qualities will keep him obsessively interested. Mixed signals works for two reasons. First, you will remain in his thoughts because he is going to try to figure you out. And second, you will confuse him and keep him skeptical. Never being completely certain of how you feel will keep a man on edge, intrigued, confused, and attracted. Number three, appear to be an object of desire. Human beings are social creatures and are immensely influenced by the tastes and desires of others. We all gravitate towards people that others find desirable. That's why it's important to create an aura of desirability or of being chased and wanted by many. So when possible, surround yourself with members of the opposite sex, including friends, and he will see you as a prize to be fought for. Remember, desire is both imitative, as in we like what other people like, as well as competitive. We want what others have. Now, I understand that this step can seem to be dangerous because you don't want to be accused of maintaining relations with several different men. That's why it's important to make sure that those who you surround yourself with are strictly platonic friends. If you're not comfortable with surrounding yourself with people who desire you, you can also accomplish the aura of desirability by suggesting to a man the other people who may have fallen for you or were interested in a relationship with you. But the most important caution for this step is that you want to avoid lying about anything or seeming to purposely make a man jealous. Number 4, soothe his anxieties and insecurities. People are likely to be seduced and fall in love when they lack a sense of completeness or when they feel that something is missing deep inside. In fact, one of the reasons they fall in love is because they believe that their beloved can fill their existential holes, whether they are worried about the future or insecure about their looks or just suffering from a pervasive feeling of unhappiness. So once you have identified this wound or this insecurity, you must lead them to believe that you're the only person who can heal it. So try to position yourself as an outsider and someone who can bring about change and soothe his pain or sense of emptiness. But be careful not to go too far in lowering his self-esteem. Number 5, keep him in suspense. Falling in love involves anticipation. So if you want to seduce a man to fall in love with you, you need to keep him guessing. And you can do this by behaving unpredictably. Surprise him with new and exciting things. Be creative and take him to new places. Show off a little bit and use glamorous touches in your personal appearance. Give him unexpected presents that show your personality. These surprises will make him see you as delightful and unpredictable. Remember, you want to keep his interest piqued so that he will always feel intrigued. Number 6, prove yourself. They say that actions speak louder than words. This is also true when it comes to being seductive. So when the time comes, you need to show that you are a virtuous person, someone who can act selflessly. And this will eliminate any doubts he has about you, and he will begin to trust you completely. Okay, so how do you do it? Well, there will be a time when your man needs help with something. He might need you to solve a problem or do him a favor. Now, you can't predict when this will happen, but you must be ready for it. And when it does, go above and beyond what he expects. This might even be a test for you, but if you hesitate or flinch for even a moment, you will fail. So make sure your effort is noticed, even if you need to bring attention to it yourself. Just do so subtly. Now, remember I said that many people find these techniques unethical? Well, here's a perfect example. Number 7, mix pain with pleasure. Kindness is important at first, but it soon becomes monotonous. In fact, being too nice to a man is a huge mistake that will literally push him away from you. So instead of constant kindness, try inflicting some pain and anxiety from time to time. Then you are right there to relieve it and soothe his pain away. Think about this. People really begin to appreciate things when they have gone through a lot of pain and suffering. For example, when we come close to dying, we start to really love life. When we have traveled a long time, coming back home feels much more pleasurable. So your goal in this step is to build tension by creating moments of sadness, anxiety, and despair so that you can be the one that relieves it. Because without tension and anxiety or suspense, there's no feeling of release, joy, or pleasure. The point here is to never let him get too comfortable with you. If you want to have him completely seduced, he needs to feel fear and anxiety. So show him some coldness or a flash of anger that he didn't expect. Stir up his jealousy or exploit his insecurities. Let him feel that he's lost you, and then the reconciliation will surely be intense. Now, before we get to number 8, I have a question. How do you feel about this process? Have you recognized some of these steps? Have you ever been a victim of another person's seduction? And would you be comfortable using the steps on a man that you wanted? I pass these questions off to you, so let me know in the comment section and let's start a discussion. Okay, on to number 8. Number 8, turn the tables to amplify the tension. If you've been successful with the first 7 steps, it's very probable that you have your man under your spell and he's crazy about you. Now it's time to take it up one more notch to ensure that he's fallen for you deeply. And to do this, you're going to take a subtle step back and let him come after you. So start with a touch of aloofness or indifference. Pull back a little and don't be so responsive and enthusiastic. You could act like you're getting bored, or maybe not show up when you're expected, or forget to call or text. But don't be too obvious. Let him only sense it, and his imagination will do the rest to create the doubt that you desire. So when you withdraw, make it subtle. You don't want to create the impression that it's over. You just want to instill unease. And his own self-doubt and paranoia will creep into his head when he's alone, and it will become self-generating. In your absence, his appreciation of you will grow. He will forgive your sins and forget your mistakes. Your subtle step back will make him want to possess you, and the moment that you return, he will know that the only way to win you back for sure is to reverse the pattern and to become the giving and affectionate one. His terror of rejection will be so powerful that it will keep the tables turned permanently.